Hey guys, welcome back. And first of all, again, I want to thank you all so very much for your support as usual on the channel, all your nice comments. And in this video though, we're going to be talking about the hot topic for today, which is Final Fantasy 15 coming to the Nintendo Switch, or of course, not coming to the Nintendo Switch. Hajime Tabata, the director of Final Fantasy 15, had an interview with DualShockers just the other day or today, whichever. And he had some interesting information about Final Fantasy 15 and the team and what they're doing currently with Final Fantasy 15 and the DLC plan for it, and even Project Scorpio plans that they have for the Microsoft side of it. So during the interview, they were talking about all these things, and of course the Nintendo Switch came up. And to make it clear, he has stated in the past, Tabata, that is the director of Final Fantasy 15, that he is a Nintendo fan and he is a fan of the Switch. He likes what the Switch is, and he's excited to possibly develop games for it in the future. So when DualShockers asked him if there's any possibility for Final Fantasy 15 to be released on the Nintendo Switch, his first reply, now this is important, his first reply was that he said, "There are no plans, it wouldn't run." That was his reply to that question. So basically he says there's no plans of the game to come into the Switch and it wouldn't run the game. So then the interviewer did a follow-up question right away and said, so it wouldn't run at all, his question was. So he followed it up, Tabata that is, and said it might run, but we haven't conducted the proper tests on whether it would run properly on the Switch or not, so I cannot say for sure. So right off the bat he says they wouldn't run the game on the Switch, and then he goes on to say that basically they haven't even tried to get the game running on the Switch at all. So he's either being polite here, or he's basically trying to simply say that his team and Square Enix has no plans to bring this game to the Switch. But of course we know the game's coming to the Xbox Scorpio, so obviously he knows that system can run it, hit 6 teraflops, you know, what have you, it's very powerful. So of course this is disappointing that the game has basically no chance at this point to come to the Nintendo Switch, according to the director of the game, because when you think about having a portable Final Fantasy 15, that would have been an awesome proposition, right guys? I mean, you think about Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch being able to be completely portable, and you can also play it at home as a home console game. That has sold pretty much the majority of the pre-orders, right? All the Nintendo fans are pre-ordering the Switch because of the prospect of having that awesome AAA game at launch with Zelda. Can you imagine if Final Fantasy 15 was also at launch or close to it for the Switch, and being able to take it on the go with you and at home? Man, that would have been completely awesome. But unfortunately, the game isn't in the plans or in the works for the Switch anytime soon. Probably that means it's not going to come to the Switch, unfortunately. And I've seen lots of people arguing about this back and forth online today about, hey, you know, why didn't they just at least try to get this game to run on the Switch? Why didn't they try to? Well, probably because Square Enix and of course Tabata most likely knows the specs of the Nintendo Switch. He probably just looked at the spec sheet and said, nope, not going to run it, and just said we're not going to even try to run the tests at all. Now granted, I'm personally of the opinion that any game, modern game, can run on any system with enough work. So probably yes, if they tried hard enough, they could get the game running on the Switch. That's just my opinion. And you look at recent claims from Platinum Games about Nier Automata, they said that they could get their game running on the Super Nintendo if Square Enix paid for it, basically. So yes, the game could be made on the Nintendo Switch. Yes, it could run on it. If the development effort and money was poured into making it happen, I'm sure they can make it run on the Switch, having it be reworked and downscaled and re-optimized for the mobile Tegra processor of the Nintendo Switch. Because quite frankly, that would probably be the only way they could get the game running on the Switch and make it look presentable. They really need to work hard on getting that Luminous engine reworked for the system. Because as we know, that game, Final Fantasy 15, has been in the works for 10 years. Of course, the majority of the development has probably been within the last 4 to 5 years of time, but the Luminous engine was basically made for the PlayStation 4 first, then they had to port it, of course, to the Xbox One. PlayStation 4 is a target platform, and if we recall the demo of Final Fantasy 15 back at E3 2016, it had frame rate issues, it wasn't even running at 1080p, and even the final version of the Xbox One version of Final Fantasy 15 doesn't run at 1080p. It runs at 900p and sometimes downscales even to 720p and 30 frames per second. So That game is extremely demanding even on Xbox One. So you can only imagine if it took them that much work to get the Xbox One version of the game to run and look good. I mean, it looks very good for an Xbox One game, definitely. PlayStation 4 version and PS4 Pro version, of course, look better. But it took them a lot of work, a lot of time and effort and money to make that game look as good as it does, even on the Xbox One. And it doesn't even run at 1080p. And we know that the Xbox One is more powerful, probably by a few times over the Nintendo Switch. So for them to take the vision of that game and then put it onto the Nintendo Switch would probably be a huge undertaking for that team and be a lot of money, and would take a lot of time for them to do so. So as disappointing as it sounds for the game not to be coming to the Switch, I can totally see and understand why it's not coming, and I'm definitely not surprised by it after seeing how much effort and time went into putting the game in the first place on the PlayStation 4. Of course, we know that Square Enix is supporting the Switch really well with all these Dragon Quest games, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, 10 and 11, and of course the brand new IP RPG Octopath Travelers coming to the Switch, so they have a lot of support on the Switch, so we really can't complain about the Square Enix support. It's unfortunate that this big AAA blockbuster game, though, can't be easily ported over to the Switch, basically because it's simply not at the level of power that would be easy enough for Square Enix to port the game over with limited amount of time and effort. Not like an Xbox One Scorpio, where you can just like basically put the game over to it and update the textures and you're done. It would have been nice to have it on the Switch, and it would have been awesome and a really big system seller in my opinion to have that game be able to take on the go and play it at home. But hey, you can't have everything, right? And basically, guys, this is the path Nintendo has chosen with the Switch. So in order for a third party to actually put their games on the system, and we're talking about AAA third party from the West, from the East, from wherever, in order for them to put the games on this system, and in order for them to put the effort and time into putting those games in the system, they're not going to do it with a zero install base. So, the system hasn't even launched yet. So they're not going to put their games on this system at launch, and probably not even the first year of the system's lifespan until they see there's some kind of sales, or if the system takes off, will they start actually putting their time and effort into taking a look at putting their games on the Switch. It'll be like the Wii situation. Like some of the companies like EA, for example, were taking a wait and see approach even with the Wii. I think they had Madden at launch on the Wii or something like that, but they didn't put all their games on the Wii until 2007 when they really saw that the Wii was a runaway hit. It was selling like wildfire. Then they started putting all their games on there, and they're even putting their own exclusive type games on the system as well, with Wii motion controls, specializing for the Wii. I mean, we know the Wii was a big phenomenon, so is that going to happen again with the Switch? I don't know, right? The Wii was a big thing on its own. I don't see it happening with the Switch in the same way. It could be a big seller, but I don't see it being Wii levels, of course. So third party's going to wait and see, but I don't think we're going to be seeing any of these big games on the Switch in the first year, and we're not seeing any indications that we are either from these third parties. We're seeing that some of them are saying that, hey, like Take-Two, for example, they're saying, yeah, we're going to support the Switch, and so far they got NBA 2K 2018 on the system coming, but that's it. So we're just going to have to wait and see if there's any other games coming to the Switch from third parties as far as big AAA games. The next Call of Duty, Battlefield, Battlefront, Assassin's Creed, the next Tomb Raider, games like that, are they coming to the Nintendo Switch? We'll have to wait and see, right? But those type of games in the West especially do basically carry the industry and make a lot of money for these companies. So regardless if you think that, oh, I don't want those games on the Switch, or I'll just play them on my PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, regardless of if you think that or not, those games being on the Switch, it will definitely sell the system because of the portable aspect of it. So if it doesn't have those games and just has indie games and Nintendo first party games, it could do okay, but it would not do as well as having those big AAA experiences, granted shrunken down and portable, but the portable aspect could really sell the nature of those games for the consumer and sell more systems for Nintendo in the long run. So before you all say that, oh, we don't want Call of Duty on Nintendo, and oh, we don't want Mass Effect, and oh, we don't want Battlefield, and oh, we don't want Tomb Raider, and oh, we don't want Resident Evil, and oh, we don't want anything basically other than Nintendo first party games, before you say that, be careful, because if you do, and we don't support these third party games that do come to the Switch, it's probably going to be another Wii U situation, unfortunately, because the less games a system has, quite frankly, the less sales a system has. That's just the way of things, the way the industry goes, guys. So hopefully things pan out and we get more game announcements soon. Hopefully this is not a trend that keeps continuing. We keep seeing third parties say, oh, we're not bringing that game to the Switch. We like the Switch, we like Nintendo, but we'd have no plans for it right now. Too bad. hopefully we don't keep saying that. And I believe For Honor is another game that was just said by Ubisoft that's not coming to the Switch. As a video game console that's brand new, you want all the games on your system. That's just a matter of fact, guys. So anyways, we are excited for the games that are coming to the Switch, and there is a lot of games coming, over 100 games and a lot of exclusives, so we do have a lot to look forward to. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about Final Fantasy 15 not coming to the Switch, and if you think that a portable version of it would have sold really well and helped the system sales. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Take care.